What is up, guys? My name is Paul and welcome back to SwiftySportSA, where you join me in another episode of the Sim Diaries. And in today's episode we are going to be unboxing and reviewing probably the cheapest handbrake you can get for your sim racing rig. Let's get stuck in. Just to let you know, guys, off the bat, you can get your hands on this for about $45. I mean, it's for those of us who can't justify paying what you would normally pay for some of those handbrakes out there, which is essentially just a lever. Let's see what we got in the package. So the actual handbrake shipped in some pretty nice packaging. Now I have opened this just to take a look at it, but let's dive in. So what we get in the box, guys, is the actual handbrake and the set of hardware that goes with it, nuts, bolts, and a couple tools, and surprise, surprise, some actual instructions, which is great to see. So let's dive in. Let's look at the actual handbrake. This is a USB-C handbrake. This is actually modeled off of a real handbrake. This handbrake is made out of aluminium and a few pieces of steel, with the only exception of plastic at the top here, which is protecting the little board that's in there. And the beauty about this handbrake, despite being a $45, which is about 800 Rand handbrake, it's got a Hall effect sensor in it, which is essentially a magnet, and when you pull back on it, there's a little piece of metal that travels along that magnet or past that magnet. So this gives you an analog feel, and we want that. We don't want a handbrake which is simply an on and off switch. That's not how a hydraulic handbrake works. They are progressive. They start working from the moment you pull them till you get to 100%, where they should lock up only at 100%. So this has a little spring in here. I'm not sure if you can see that. And I actually find this quite tough to pull back. Obviously it's not mounted currently. Once it's mounted, that will become a lot easier. A lot of the guys online have said that they find it a little bit soft, but it's an easy, quick fix to change out that spring if you want a tougher spring. On the rear here, we've got this screw here where you can tighten or loosen the tension, basically, which naturally brings this lever back a bit. It will feel stiffer. My only warning about doing that before you connect to the software is you might actually be, as you're tightening it, saying, yeah, it's in the right position, but you might actually result in triggering the handbrake by doing so. I'll explain once we get to the software. So what this gets you is a handbrake with some of the most adjustability I've seen on any handbrake, and I'm comparing that to the super expensive ones out there. By undoing these two bolts here, we have many levels of adjustability in height, and the beauty about this is that this can actually be mounted horizontally. This part can swivel and be mounted horizontally to be used like a conventional handbrake. At the top here, we have this little grip section, and for some users, I have heard how they feel it is a little bit small in the hand. I don't have the biggest hands, but I don't have small hands. I'm somewhere in between, and this feels pretty comfortable to me, not gonna lie. It's not gonna go anywhere. What I will say is that you can see from that profile is very thin. This piece of foam here / grip, I'm sure within a few months will probably wear out and actually disintegrate. But let's see. Some out there have had good luck with these things. It's got mounting positions at the bottom, and they give you hardware to mount it directly to a rig. This is compatible with most rigs out there. I will say this. I wanted to get a table mount, and this version at least does not ship with a table mount. So I went ahead and got myself a separate table mount. Looking at the table mount, it's pretty self-explanatory. Also, it came with all its hardware and a couple tools, and will literally mount to the bottom of a table or wherever you are seated. I'm not at a table, but the way my rig works is I'd rather not have this permanently mounted. I'd rather have it as an option. If I really do need to remove it for more space, I can. So guys, without further ado, let's get stuck in. Let's take a look at the software, the calibration software, which I highly recommend. And yeah, let's hook it up, take it for a spin and see what we think. Is it worth it? I think it might be, but as we test, we'll find out soon. So on Windows 10, guys, because that's what I'm on, you need to navigate over into your control panel, go into devices and printers. From there, you can connect the device. It should pop up here as either a little game controller, or mine even said handbrake. Once you're on here, you're going to right click and go into game controller settings. We're going to go on properties, and I highly suggest you should see this where it's sitting at the halfway mark. This is actually a good indication, trust me. And what you want to do is give it a full yank from its current 0 position all the way to the back to the end, and you should see that then it's now calibrated. It knows now that this is 0 and that is 100. As I go from 0 all the way boom to 100. Boom. If you're unsatisfied with the way it's acting, I would highly recommend unplugging it, plugging it back in, then navigating here to settings and hitting calibrate, where you'll follow the same procedure. Once calibrated, you can go ahead into your favorite game. I'm going to jump over into Content Manager for Assetto Corsa. And what you're going to do is over under settings, Assetto Corsa controls, navigate to access, and you're going to travel down here to Handbrake. It says waiting for input. And now the moment I tug on it, boom, boom. It's picked it up as Handbrake, axle 7, and I can see it's in its 0 position, and it travels, boom, hard lock 100. That is perfectly calibrated. If you are having any issues, you could adjust the to position or the from position to try and fix those, or as discussed before, the screw on the back of the handbrake can be tightened or loosened to try and get perfect calibration. I'm very satisfied with mine. Let's get it hooked up to the rig and take it for a test spin. Cool guys, so yeah, we've gotten the handbrake mounted. I'm very happy with its position, and it's, you know, nice and strong and sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. So I have discovered that this has got quite a long travel, and that's a bit of a problem for me because of the type of racing bucket seat I have. So what I've done is naturally in the software, I've actually told it that somewhere around here, somewhere around the 70% mark is actually 100% lock for me, because as I'm in the game, I actually don't pull it more than that. It is softer. I have discovered it is softer now, but yeah, let's get stuck into a game. Let's test it out. Cool guys, so I'm just randomly here on the Red Bull car park drift layout. Let's just test that the handbrake's working. If I slowly roll forward here and I pull it, you'll hear how it engages. So we can hear the back wheels are locking there. This time I won't put in the clutch and you'll hear how the car will bog. And there we go. Cool. So handbrake definitely working. Happy. I think yeah, let's give it a spin. Not that I'm much of a drifter, I am learning, but let's give it a go. Cool guys, so let's try and use the handbrake in a few locations. Well, I'm not much of a drifter guys, but it's working, and I cannot wait to try this in rally as well. I really think that this is worth it at the budget price point that it comes in. It does exactly what it says. It's a handbrake. It works. It's calibrated. Yeah, longevity, we'll find out over the weeks to come how long it's going to last. As I said before, this does feel a bit soft, and honestly, I think the travel is a bit too long. It's a bit noisy. It squeaks, but nothing wrong. I mean, a little bit of grease, and I'm thinking of modifying this ever so slightly. Not everybody has to do this, but I'm thinking of adding some kind of bump stop at a point to shorten the travel. But yeah, otherwise I love it. I'm happy. It's time to actually learn how to drift and use it properly. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my uploads. Thanks for watching guys. Check you on the next one.